The Grotto Rosso Cave, located a few miles south of Naples, Italy, is famous for its dark red walls. This phenomenon, which is caused by a rare bacterial growth, makes this cave one of the most popular dives on the Italian west coast. Seeing hundreds of divers traveling there each year to take in its beauty, this system is generally considered an easy cave dive, overall being quite safe. The cave entrance is 14 meters under the surface, which once through provides a fairly simple out and back path to explore the open room of red walls. While there are a few dead-end offshoots that divert off the main chamber, it is relatively easy to know which path leads in and out of the cave, as that is the only light source. On June 30th, 2012, a group of 8 entered the cave with their contracted guide, Douglas Rizzo, leading the way. According to the Italian investigation that took place afterwards, they got into the cave with no problem to note at around 2 p.m. After completing the planned dive at the bottom of the cavern, the group turned around. Looking around at the unique walls, the leader, Douglas Rizzo, decided it was time to head back to the surface. While leaving the cave, instead of swimming up through the exit tunnel, Rizzo led the group down a tunnel that is just 10 meters below the exit. He mistakenly led the group down a lower channel, which was one of the dead-end offshoots previously mentioned. When the group of 8 reached the dead end, they would turn around to find that the sandy chamber was completely silted out. With zero visibility, panic ensued. Marco Sebastiani, a man from Rome in the group that day, said he realized something was wrong when he saw the leader, Douglas Rizzo, showing signs of agitation. But at that point, it was too late. We suddenly found ourselves in a blind tunnel. We couldn't see anything, and at that point, it was a panic. The agitation of the least experienced took hold. Mud and sand came up from the bottom of the cave, and visibility was gone. At a certain point, I managed to find my way. Sebastiani, who owns a diving shop in Rome, finished by saying, "I took as many people as I could with me and swam towards the light, which only grew bigger by the second. When I came up, I looked around and counted us and realized that Susie, Andrea, Douglas, and Panos were not there. I dove back in and went looking for them, but I couldn't see them, and then my tank ran out of gas." 4 divers managed to find their way back out, but the remaining 4 were still down in the tunnel. Rescue services extracted the divers' bodies from that spot Sebastiani had pointed out to them on the map the following week. The cramped room with the sandy bottom proved deadly for the fairly inexperienced group. According to the police report, all the divers were prepared for the dive in terms of certifications and equipment. The Coast Guard commander confirmed that the victims were Greek-born Panatios Telios, British-born Douglas Rizzo, Susie Covicini, and Andrea Petroni, both of Rome. Robert Navarra, the diving school owner who provided the group's equipment, went on to say to reporters the day after the incident, "It's an easy cave, but there are dangerous tunnels that people never use. 8 people swam into the channel, but only 4 came out." He was also there that day and would go on to say that he tried repeatedly to save the missing divers, but the visibility was terrible and he could see nothing. He confirmed that the group was correctly equipped and that each diver had a light attached to them. Walter Ciaciano, an expert diver from nearby Marina di Camerata, said many of the 35 underwater caves that draw divers to the area have muddy bottoms, saying, "Often when you go in, the water is clear, and you don't notice that your flippers are muddying the water behind you, creating what seems like an impenetrable wall, and on those occasions, it's panic that rules the day." Only half the divers that set out that day made it out with their lives. This story shows you how panicking underwater is a diver's worst enemy. When cave diving, this is especially important, as you must keep your cool when facing adversity. Not only will you burn through your gas quickly when under pressure, but your decision-making abilities are greatly hindered when you are panicking. If this group, and more importantly, the dive leader, had kept their cool, they could have taken their time to follow each other out of this simple tunnel they had just swam down. This tunnel was tight, but nothing they couldn't figure out. There was no restrictions, no offshoots, no other wrong tunnels to go down. Once Rizzo panicked, this caused the less experienced divers to do the same. As a result, these divers weren't able to handle the stress of the panic and quickly lost their lives. Cave diving can be safe, but only when properly equipped, trained, and mentally prepared to face the challenges that may arise. If you follow the basic rules of cave diving, you can minimize your risk and come home with your life every time you dive. The only problem is that people either forget the rules or want to bend them to their comfort, putting themselves in grave danger until one day it catches up with them. The same goes for those who put their trust in others to keep them safe. Scuba diving, and especially cave diving, isn't a basic or safe hobby to do. It is your own responsibility to keep yourself safe. Things can go south very fast, and if you aren't mentally ready to deal with it, that could be your life. That is the story of the Grotto Rosso Cave disaster. If you want to hear more scary, fascinating stories, make sure to watch last week's video.